Imagine a world where humans could not have sex. How would that impact our evolution and survival as a species? Sex plays a pivotal role in the evolution and survival of species. Without it, we'd have to resort to advanced technologies or asexual reproduction to ensure survival. Sex plays a vital role in forming emotional and social bonds among humans. But what if it was no longer a factor? Relationships would likely evolve to focus more on emotional connection, communication, and other forms of intimacy. In a world without sex, emotional intimacy and communication would likely take center stage in human relationships. With no sexual reproduction, how would population growth be impacted? The prospect of population control might seem daunting. Can societies manage without the unpredictability of natural reproduction? The benefits could be significant, but the challenges would be equally immense. Without sexual reproduction, population stability would likely become a major societal concern. Sex has been a major influence on art, literature, and cultural expressions. How would these change in a world without sexual activity? Without sex, our cultural norms and artistic expressions could shift dramatically, redefining love, desire, and relationships. In a sexless world, cultural expressions of love, desire, and relationships would likely undergo significant transformation. The absence of sexual activity could have profound physiological and psychological impacts. What might these be? Consider potential health consequences, like a decrease in immune function or increased stress. Mental health could also be affected, with increased loneliness or decreased self-esteem. The lack of sexual activity could have significant health implications, affecting both our bodies and our minds. How would romantic relationships change in a world without sexual activity? They'd likely shift to center on companionship, shared interests, and emotional support. Bonds would be built on mutual respect, empathy, and shared life goals. Without sex, romantic relationships would likely focus more on companionship and emotional support. The economic implications of a society without sexual activities could be extensive. What might we expect? Industries centered around dating, cosmetics, fashion, and adult entertainment could undergo dramatic transformations, adapting to new societal norms and demands. A world without sex would likely trigger significant shifts in various industries. Without sexual activity, gender dynamics could undergo major changes. What might these look like? Perhaps the absence of sexual relationships could potentially level the playing field, fostering greater gender equality. Individual identities, too, might shift, evolving beyond traditional male and female roles. The absence of sexual activity could potentially reshape gender dynamics and identities. Family structures are often tied to biological reproduction. How might these change in a world without sex? Perhaps families would form more around companionship, shared values, and mutual support. Adoption might become a prevalent way of forming family bonds. In a world without sexual reproduction, family structures may shift towards companionship and adoption. Sexual activity is often tied to spiritual and philosophical beliefs. How would these be impacted in a world without sex? Perhaps societal values would shift, placing more emphasis on intellectual and emotional connections. Without sexual activity, our spiritual and philosophical perspectives may undergo significant evolution. Could the absence of sexual activity lead to a surge in human creativity and innovation? Freed from biological drives, humanity might channel that energy into intellectual, scientific, and artistic pursuits. Redirecting energy from sexual pursuits could potentially fuel a surge in human creativity and innovation.